Eltharion had some price decreases, although I don't think that applied to him on his Griffin necessarily. But still, overall, very interesting lord, hybrid of melee caster, and of course with lore of high magic today. Tequila Sunset's going to be taking him against the Warriors of Chaos, led by Valkia, so nice to see a couple of off-meta lords in this matchup. Definitely, I don't know, maybe Archaon is probably meta in most, if not all matchups. And then for Wood Elves, or High Elves, sorry, it's hard to say, honestly. The real meta probably shifts a bit from matchup to matchup, but like Imrik or possibly Teclis, or maybe even Lariel in certain matchups, actually. But anyway, that's not what we're here for today. We're here for these builds, which are actually brought. So we've got a single Swordmaster, a couple of archers, light armor, some spearmen, and Silvern Guards scattered around with a couple of silver helms, no shields, along with the Lion Chariot. Lions, or all chariots rather, I think got a stealth fix. They didn't list anything in the patch notes, but I've been getting reports, and myself in the few battles I have played, feels like chariots are a bit better, perhaps. But we've got these Reaver Archers here, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, for the Warriors of Chaos, Valkia leading the way, front line of Marauders, second line of Chaos Warriors, got some Halberds out to the flanks, Unit of Chosen. It's like Lore of Deathcaster, immediately going to get hit by that Soul Quench, which is one of the homing missiles that got buffed with better tracking. So we saw there, it was a pretty accurate hit, did a decent amount of damage as well. For the amount of Winds of Magic, 7 Winds of Magic is not too much, especially when you compare to something like Spirit Leech, which is just actually more. So yeah, pretty decent damage. We'll kind of see how Eltharion uses that throughout the course of the battle, but we've got Hellstriders here, and some Poison Warhounds out pressuring both flanks, or no, on this flank we've got some Knights of Tzeentch getting close on them, as Valkia unleashes that Spear Slopnir in the back there, wrecking those archers. These Tzeentch Knights are going to try and pressure this flank here. Get into the Reavers. Reavers getting caught up a little bit by these Warhounds. No poison though, so they should be able to get away, and the Silver Helms are moving to intercept. I love the little, like, pings of the shield as the arrows land on them. I don't know. It's a nice effect, even if the shield is kind of a big old pain in the ass sometimes. Anyway, yeah, we've got some Hellstriders here moving in. Poison Warhounds pressuring the back. And the Silver Helms just kind of turn to face them. Don't want to overcommit to countercharging them, because then they could possibly get outmaneuvered, so... Really nice play by Tequila Sunset there. Let's see if he's going to miss the charge. No, he's been doing a great job with his chariot, though. It kind of came through, ripped up this front line, and doing a great job disrupting the charge of the Warriors of Chaos here, which is super important to do when facing a rush build, especially when you're playing more defensively, like the High Elves are here. But even still, Poison Warhounds are able to get through and get on these archers. Reavers are moving to respond. They've got solid enough melee stats. The Silver Helms also managed to just outmaneuver the Chaos Knights, move over here and rear charge the Hellstriders. So, Slaanesh usually likes to be the one rear charging, not necessarily being rear charged. They are givers after all. But Eltharion and the Chariots just kind of pulling back here. Been doing a great job so far of just cycle charging, not getting stuck in combat too long against unfavorable opponents, and mostly just kind of avoiding Valkia. One thing, though, I will say about Eltharion, and this goes for all Griffins, is their HP is extremely poor. Especially, I mean, it's clear that they just haven't been updated to Game 3 standards. We've seen Wyverns and Hippogriffs, both for Bretonnia and Greenskins, get updated, so they have, you know, HP on par with what you'd expect for Game 3 single entities. Unfortunately, Griffins have not, and Eltharion suffers greatly because of that. He is a Game 2 Lord mounted on a Game 1 mount, which puts him pretty far behind the power curve. Lore of High Magic is also decent. This Soul Quench looks like it's been alright for him so far, but kind of remains to be seen. Need to play myself a bit with it and really decide, but Spear Slopnir hits those Spearmen. Using the spear for the spears. Just absolutely beautiful. And Valkia moving in, trying to counteract the chariots. The problem with Valkia here is she doesn't have a lot of mass. Like, really, I don't know, the Chaos Knights honestly should probably be kind of mirroring her and trying to go after some of these high mass units. They can potentially trap them a little bit more effectively. Lion Chariots so far have been able to largely avoid, although Micro is going to slip a little bit there as Tequila Sunset's microing elsewhere on the battlefield. They do get caught momentarily, but not really taking too much damage. Chaos Warriors aren't AP, so all the damage pretty much is going to be coming from Valkia. But anyway, Eltharion fighting in the back line. I mean, the lines are kind of all over the place at this point. It's all chaos, but Spearmen getting rear charged by halberds as they kind of support against these Chaos Knights. Eltharion's not going to do too much damage here, but his armor definitely helps him out. 100 armor on the Griffin. Like, I mean, most Griffins have pretty decent armor, but again, that HP profile is just not that great. Does have physical resistance from Fang Sword, which is quite nice, but obviously won't be applicable to Tzeentch Knights, as they, of course, have magical attacks. Valkia also does. So, a few units, actually. Warriors of Chaos have quite a bit of magical melee damage, as should be expected. But anyway, magic is chaos after all. Those Lion Chariots going to keep on moving through. Nice rear charge into the Chosen. Haven't really highlighted the Swordmasters too much. They've just been infantry grinding the whole time, and they're just about done for. But, yeah, somewhere Rider of Rohan. It's just smiling. These Swordmasters probably paid for themselves. I mean, they were pretty much fighting armored infantry the entire time. Yeah, pretty close. Their Elven leadership, they might still come back from route. Maybe get a little apotheosis. Or, yeah, probably better to just prioritize that on the Lion Chariots at this point. A little Spirit Leech on them from the Deathcaster, and eventually Eltharion is going to have to fight Valkia, but for the time being, he just continues to avoid, helping out his units to just win the fight so that he can fight with support against Valkia, which is definitely the right call. I mean, she has about equal HP to him on his Griffin base, so kind of gives you an idea of where the HP power creep is at in Game 3. And, I mean, the switch to Ultra also changed quite a bit of things in terms of weapon strength for single entities that haven't been addressed. And I'm probably going to start making some videos throughout the month of December and into January addressing some of that. Man, look at the size disparity between these Silver Elves and Chaos Knights. They, are pursuing, I guess? Are the Silver Helms actually the ones in pursuit here? Yeah, it would appear so. It's a little bit of a strange engagement, but anyway. Yeah, single entities in general, due to the switch to Ultra, a lot of them either need HP or weapon strength increases. We've seen HP increases to some of the, like, again, flying-type mounts for Bretonnia and Greenskins, not for the Empire, and also applies to the High Elves. Interestingly enough, Eagles actually seem to be just fine. I don't know. It generally seem pretty good for the Lords that are forced to take them. Some Lords also choose to take them, but could probably do with a little bit of an HP buff also. But then just like a lot of single entities that are meant for melee combat, you know, like the Tomb King's constructs. You could look at Treemen also for the Wood Elves, even Durthu. Like really, you know, Shaggoths, even for Warriors of Chaos. If we want to talk about them, they have some stuff that's power crept up, like the Needle Vortex Beast. You know, Beastmen get the new Elemental of Beasts, Incarnate, whatever it's called. But then you look at things like, I mean, Jabberslythe and Gorgon are both pretty decent, but I don't know. They also have the Giant, which is probably a shining example of a unit that has been brought up Game 3 standards due to cost reductions and significant weapon strength increases. Makes the Giants actually quite good in many situations, and they're cheap enough that it's not a huge deal if they're, you know, end up being a big old distraction piece, but they are expensive enough that, you know, you generally want to get something done with them in an interesting place. But anyway, speaking of which, this battle is also in an interesting place, as Eltharion's quite healthy, and a lot of his Elven support units, like we've got these Spearmen and Silverengard here, both that are doing very decent, over half HP each. Valkia doesn't have any AoE damage to try and counteract them, and there's just some Chosen Halberds. So with this amount of infantry, Eltharion should be able to just cycle charge out the rest of the Chaos Ground Forces and then fight Valkia in the late game with support on the ground with these Silverengard especially. Let's see, we've got these Clutch Swordmasters coming back in as well for some more. And Eltharion just comes and kind of hard lands here, just taunting Valkia to come after him, I guess. I'm not sure. But anyway, oh, there it is. That's why he hard lands on the ground. Just side shots a Soul Quench through these units. Wow, that was a really nice hit. Okay, so Soul Quench still can be used in that fashion as sort of a skill-based positioning missile to blow up multiple units of infantry kind of blobbed up. That was really nice, actually. Very well done, Tequila Sunset. And a Spirit Leech there as well. So, yeah. Soul Quench is definitely, I mean, it's cheap enough. It's more expensive than some other magic missiles, but it seems to be pretty decent, honestly. 675 range damage, 180 explosive, too. So definitely seems like it can just rip units apart, potentially, if you get a good hit that penetrates multiple infantry. I know, like, Fireball, for example, from Lore of Fire, the penetration on that was just nerfed, so I don't think you could do the same thing anymore with that. You kind of could before, but yeah, fun stuff. That ends up kind of being the killing blow, honestly, for Warriors of Chaos here. And yeah, nice to see Eltharion doing well. I mean, he was not really challenged too aggressively here. Valkia was trying to pursue him at one point, but then just kind of broke off and decided to help her own ground forces, as he mostly just avoided that engagement, which is definitely smart, and just support his ground troops. Swordmasters end up coming in late game and kind of cleaning up and paying for themselves. Lion Chariots, interestingly, didn't quite pay for themselves. I feel like they maybe got more damage than is reflected here. I'm not sure. But the Disruption tactically was really nice, too, to break up that advance. And overall, pretty much everything on the Wood Elves, or sorry, High Elves build pays for itself. Probably made that mistake a few times. But anyway, been watching some Wood Elf replays lately. We've got this Chaos Knight Zinch here, did a great job. Chaos Knight's Sword and Shield are just really good right now. The Lances are crap, don't take them, but definitely take the Swords and Shields in pretty much all matchups, whatever variant you want. They're pretty much all good. Sometimes you want to specialize specific variants, like if you expect a lot of physical resistance, take the magic damage of Zinch. You know, if the fire damage of Khorne is going to help you out because of weakness to fire, or, you know, a lot of healing effects, Knights of Khorne are a good option. Of course, Slaanesh is just good if you're going to be able to hammer an anvil, or, you know, have a general mobility advantage so that you can position them properly to take good take good advantage of the devastating flanker. And then Nurgle Knights, I mean, the poison's nice. Their stats are a little bit more defensive as well, so if you need more of a mobile holding force, they're definitely the way to go. But anyway, the regular ones, too, are just cheap and cost-effective. So that's pretty much it for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I know I kind of went on a few different little tangents there, but if I wanted to leave you with anything today, the overall message of the video is CA, please. Can we not wait until Thrones of Decay is released to have a health update for Griffons? All Griffons, from Karl Franz on Deathclaw to Eltharion and his Griffin, and even like the Prince and the Princess on their Griffins, right? All Griffins. Just give them a nice, you know, couple of Thanksgiving meals, feed them some turkeys and whatever else, and let's get it going, because honestly, it's pretty sad when you see Eltharion and then you look at Valkia here. You notice, oh, 5600 HP. Oh yeah, he actually has less base HP on a monster than a flying infantry lord. So please, CA, Griffins need help. But anyway, that's it for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.